Does it actually show we're live on Rumble now?
Yes, I'm on there.
Let's see. Yeah, there we go. There's the stream. There's the live chat, and looks like it's all going good now. Hallelujah. All right, we solved that issue. Just had to pretty much just shut down the stream, restart it, and frame rates were back to where they should be. I don't know what was causing it, but it's fixed. That's what matters. So let's go back to that first tab. We went through all the tabs. See if there was something that was just sucking up data, but there wasn't anything. Pressy. Oh, kick her out of your lap. That's an option. We got our daughter sitting in her lap because she just has to be in her lap for some reason for all this. So, some of the big news over this last week. The United States Supreme Court made a decision in Louisiana versus SCOTUS. The Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's congressional map that included 2 majority black districts, ruling it an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Basically, you can't use race as your primary reason for designing or drawing up a district. So, some people call it bad. Some people like us will call it good because we shouldn't be looking at race because, quite frankly, it's like a black guy and a white guy who are neighbors who live down near the coast of Alabama, which if you know Alabama, it's only a little bit there that's in the coast. They're going to have a whole lot more in common with each other than people up in Mobile, Alabama. So a bunch of redistricting is going to be happening because states are going to take advantage of this now, because the other side of the coin here is that there are a lot of districts that exist mainly because they were kind of forced to do it by previous administrations.
Yeah, because they wanted to put all the blacks together, and that's
well, it wasn't really. That's the thing. It wasn't really so much that they're black. It was that they're using the racial line specifically to create extra Democrat districts. So now it's been opened back up. Effectively, the can of worms has been opened. Granted, the can of worms was opened a long time ago because of Democrat gerrymandering. Because you can go look up at New England has like anywhere between 43 or 38 to 48% Republican. But yet there's 0 Republican congressmen from there, even though there are some of the states that are almost half Republican. And it's all just because of gerrymandering just to get rid of Republican votes in Congress. And so Democrats are complaining about Republicans doing it, but it's like all we're doing is playing by their rules. The rules they set a long time ago that gerrymandering for your cause is okay as long as you're doing it and not the other guy. So we start playing by their rules, and now all of a sudden they get upset. So that was the U.S. Supreme Court that made that decision, so that's going to affect a lot of states. I think it was hit up that next tab. Babe. So we got that tab there. It's basically a rough example of what it will end up looking like. So the South will go much redder if all the states redistrict. And many of these states are already in the process of redistricting. So you're looking at 12 seats swinging to the Republicans over this. And that's just this section. That's not including other states that will possibly redistrict. And there will be some states that the Trump administration, they could sue and force them to redistrict because these are states that were gerrymandered specifically over racial lines. And so you could see in some northern states, Republican seats be opened up.
Like what kind of states are you thinking?
Mostly like New England, for example, where I said they already have 0 Republican seats, period.
True.
They might do that. Illinois has a huge black population. But yet, even then, though, a lot of these states have very little actual Republican representatives. Same thing, I think, with Minnesota is one of those cases as well. So we might see more seats open up. This is just showing just the South. So let's go ahead and hit that next tab while we're talking about redistricting.
Okay.
Virginia Democrats are going to be appealing their state Supreme Court decision to the United States Supreme Court. I guess they weren't happy with their own state Supreme Court making a ruling inside their own damn state. So scroll on down.
Yeah, but I pointed something out to you earlier when I was hearing.
What was that?
I pointed something out to you earlier about what's going on here, why it makes sense that they did this.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get into that because it talks about it here in the article. So here's some of the this is Washington, Channel 4. Looks like it's a CBS, or is that CBS, the Peacock, or is that MSNBC? One of the retards.
I think it's
It's an affiliate channel.
So MSNBC.
There it is, NBC. Yeah. So these guys, this is to show some of their bias. So you look at the top there, it's voter-approved Democratic congressional redistricting.
But it wasn't only barely approved. Barely liked by the people there in Virginia.
Doesn't really matter.
I know.
This is their bias. Virginia Supreme Court on Friday struck down a voter-approved Democratic congressional redistricting plan. They do this at the very top because most people won't really read further down. But even not that further down, you go down, and there it is in red. The Virginia Supreme Court ruled 4-3 that the state's Democratic-led legislator violated procedural requirements when it placed the constitutional amendment on the ballot to authorize mid-decade redistricting. Voters narrowly approved the amendment, so not even like massively popular, April 21st. But the court's ruling renders the vote's results meaningless. Scroll back up. There was another thing I had highlighted right there. So Democrats led by House Speaker Don Scott and Attorney General Jay Jones filed a motion late Friday afternoon asking the state Supreme Court to pause its ruling from taking effect while they appeal for an emergency hearing before the U.S. Supreme Court. And honestly, it's like, what is the U.S. Supreme Court going to do? If the state Supreme Court is right that they've violated procedural requirements for this, all the Supreme Court's going to do is basically just look at the state constitution and be like, yeah, the state Supreme Court was right. Like, they're there to enforce the federal constitution. The federal constitution says that the legislator has power over elections. Well, the legislator is the one who helped create this damn state constitution that they were trying to amend to allow them to do mid-decade redistricting. So it's like, what are you gonna do? You violated your own state constitution. What's the Supreme Court gonna do? I don't even think they're gonna hear it. I think the Supreme Court's just gonna be like, no, sorry. We don't care about this. This is an internal issue in your state.
And I'll just say, please refer back to your constitution for your state.
They might even just quickly say, we defer to the state Supreme Court on state constitution issues. And who knows, they could actually immediately give a unanimous decision on it too.
Well, because they can't interfere. It's the state's constitution. It's not between different states.
They can interfere if they actually see a serious issue.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is this is the internal politics of Virginia and how it works and their state and how their state constitution functions. I don't see how the federal court will even find a way to get involved in it, but we'll see. Yep. So the violation irreparably undermines the integrity of the resulting referendum vote and renders it null and void.
And this was justice?
Yeah. Of the Supreme Court, that was a statement about it. Basically, they're saying this is an unprecedented thing, going about it this way, violating the process of the Constitution. Mm-hmm. So scroll on down. One person was saying, huge win for the Republican Party and America in Virginia. Keep scrolling. So that's For that right there, it's a little video. We don't have to watch it, but it just shows a map. This is the redistricting map they had planned. And so you can see where I served my mission for the church up there in the northern part of Virginia, pretty much. Well, bring your mouse down a little bit more. Oh, not too far. That's about Richmond up there. Keep going up, left. No, to the center of that. Down a little bit. Right there. That's pretty much like where the bottom of my mission was. I believe that's right close to Spotsylvania County. And so it's like, and you look at all those districts. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 districts that all swoop right up there into the Fairfax County area. All just to get the Democrat votes they need to dilute all those rural conservative areas, just so that way they can get extra Democrat seats. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is the game. I'm not going to fault them for doing it, but I'm happy our side's winning, pretty much. Mm-hmm. Let's roll on down. Did we get anything else highlighted down here, or is that pretty much it? I don't think I went any further for the most part. Oh, no, there it is. The state Supreme Court's majority was critical of the state's redrawing of the congressional maps to benefit one political party. Those justices noted that 47% of the state's voters supported GOP congressional candidates in 2024. But the new map could result in Democrats making up 91% of the state's House delegation. So, there you have it, pretty much. Like, I mean, call it right, call it wrong. I don't really care. This is what politics is. This is how the frickin' sausage is made in American politics.
And it's
ugly. No one likes it.
This kind of explains in the Constitution how they're supposed to go about this and how they violated it. Mm-hmm.
Because the state's redistricting commission was established by a voter-approved constitutional amendment, lawmakers had to propose an amendment to redraw the districts. That required approval of a resolution in 2 separate legislative sessions with a state election sandwiched in between to place the amendment on the ballot. So basically how it works is you go and you get the voter initiative or the amendment approved by the voters and by the state legislator.
Well, in the legislature first.
Well, either way, doesn't matter. It gets approved in the legislature at the very least. Then you have to have an election, and then the next legislator has to approve of it. And so it guarantees effectively, hey, just in case there's a major swing in politics over this issue, and there's a big switch up in the legislator, if the legislator before and after this gets approved, both like it, hey, it's probably a good amendment to push through.
And then the voters can vote.
Yeah. It's not actually a bad way to do it, honestly. If you're going to do an amendment process in a state, that's really actually not a bad way to do it.
You have to force them to keep control and keep power, but then also you have to have the public approve of the amendment.
Yeah, so effectively what it was is they did not have... They got it approved, and then they went and redistricted, and then tried to use the new district maps in this current election that's happening this year. Instead of having this election and then approving the new congressional map or the amendment to do the new congressional map in the next legislative session. So that's pretty much what freaking happened there. And so Virginia State Court basically saved Republicans in Virginia and saved the Republicans 4 seats in Congress for the most part. So props to them. Good news for us. Yeah. Hoping to help. Historically, the the party in power in the presidency typically loses seats in Congress. So yeah, it's how it is in the midterms. So even if we can not lose seats or at least not lose the majority, it's a big win for the most part, historically at least. So let's hit up that next tab. Let's move along to the next thing. I can't remember if this is the same issue. It's not. I decided to keep this one because it's funny and sad.
Well, it shows that elections will be violated by people that there's
So
not
you know
election
how they
integrity.
said the 2020 election was the most secure election in American history? That was horseshit. We all knew it was crap, but I mean, we just got more proof that it was crap. So yes, a Pakistani citizen living in Pakistan voted in California's 2020 election. Here's the rest of the story.
Debatable. His brother is the one who possibly cast the vote, so we can't fully 100% guarantee it, but he did register his brother that is in Pakistan.
Trump won't be sending like Delta Force or something to abduct him from Pakistan anytime soon. Bring him into New York to face charges. So, county sheriff, I believe this is, yes, had said you're able to register and cast a vote if you don't live in the country. So that was apparently something going viral for a little bit, at least in their more local area there in California. Scroll on down, we got more on this. This is interesting. Keep going. Go back to the highlights. All the way down. There we go. Whole bunch of bullet points to go through here. During a raid at Khan's home in October 2020, and on unrelated charges, officials observed a stash of 41 sealed and completed mail ballots for the 2020 presidential election. Due to California's ballot harvesting laws, the ballots were not seized, but investigators photographed the ballots and documented their findings. In the fall of 2021, officials noticed 70 people were registered to vote at one address in Lodi, if that's how it's pronounced, which they recognized as Khan's. So, investigators caught this other detail, recognized the address as Khan, so they're like, oh, well, maybe we should look at it further. Sheriff's investigation determined that Khan had used the state's online voter registration system to re-register existing California voters from their districts from other districts to his address. Scroll on down. I can't see with the mic there. And at least a few non-citizens living in foreign countries, including his brother in Pakistan, to vote using his address, email address, or phone number. Investigators reviewed the ballot return envelopes from ballots cast in 2020 general election, which had been maintained by the register, and found that many of those tied to Khan's addresses all had the same handwriting on the outside. In October 2022, officials found more than a dozen unopened ballots for the midterm election. None of them addressed to Khan, and many not sent to his address at his home.
You know, this isn't
so
good.
He may have been going ballot harvesting, taking people's ballots and filling them out himself.
Yeah, but to me, it's just crazy to think they went to his house October 2020, all of 2021, and October 2022.
Mm-hmm.
They have to keep going to his house in the fall when it's election time.
Yeah, well, you know, that's the thing is, like, it's the whole idea with a ballot harvesting can be good and bad. There are people who could probably use some help being able to get their ballots to the polling stations when they need to. But you get cases like this.
But here's this.
Where it's very, I know, I'll get to it, where it's very clear that this guy is not doing simple, honest ballot harvesting operations. He's actually doing criminal activity. Mm-hmm. Officials also found Khan's nomination form for his city council candidacy and determined that numerous signatures on it were forged. Khan forced voters whose information he'd hijacked to vote for him and for Joe Biden, either by filling them out himself or threatening the voter. So, yeah, serious crimes. When Khan heard that investigators were speaking to people he'd fraudulently registered to vote, he posted a video on TikTok to threaten and intimidate them.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have a picture of this douchebag?
I don't know.
Scroll on down. Let's keep scrolling down. Let's see if there's a picture of this douchebag on here. I want to see if he's even actually threatening or intimidating. I don't know. Keep scrolling. We're looking for photos, not words. Hey, scroll up. That's him. I mean, not bad there on the screen. I'm assuming that's probably him that they're talking about.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be scared of him if he was trying to threaten me. All right.
But I also think he may have actually had a position and he was doing stuff to maintain it, possibly.
Yeah, probably. Probably. All right, let's go ahead and hit up that next tab. We spent enough time on that loser for the most part.
So good news.
What's up?
Maybe this will help get people to deport themselves.
This was hilarious. I heard about this sometime midweek that some lady had gotten like freaking $50,000 in fines.
No, I think it was 1.8 million.
That might have been a different person then.
A couple people.
I don't remember it being that high, but it's freaking hilarious.
Because they've been here and they've had deportation orders for over 5 years.
Yeah, so Trump is using a law passed in 1996. Scroll on down.
Did you want me to show it?
No,
here?
just scroll down. We'll get to that in a second. Keep scrolling so I can see all this stuff. There we go. So Trump's using a law that was passed in 1996 to start actually fining people who are here illegally. So one is right there in purple, $100 to $500 per unlawful entry or attempted entry. Basically $2,000 to $10,000 for failure to honor the voluntary deportation order, and up to $1,000 almost, $998 per day, for willfully failing to comply with removal order. And over a period of 5 years, that can lead up to about $1 million in fines.
Or more.
And, well, yeah, but that's a period of 5 years. That can be upwards of $1 million. And so it's like this one lady, probably here a lot longer, got nearly $1.8 million in fines, which is freaking hilarious. They did say, though, if you do your self-deportation through the app that they created, they'll forgive your debt on that.
Yeah, but it might also be contingent.
Freaking hilarious.
If you try coming back again illegally, it might just go right back on.
Yeah, true. I mean, they probably are going to do that, where if you do try to come back in the U.S. illegally, all those fines get levied back against you.
And it'd be another $100 to $500 additional fine for unlawful entry.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, I think it was like retroactive, so I don't know if you stay here longer after 5 years, if it can now start counting forward too, maybe. If they try coming back again. Start doing the $1,000 a day.
Probably, but for the period that they're not in the U.S., they wouldn't be fined for. But that's what they're saying retroactive. They would actually do the past stuff, and they probably just tack on all the future stuff with it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, so it's fun. Go ahead and hit that next tab. So this bill was passed in 1996. The Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act. An absolute mouthful with an even worse acronym for it. That sounds like you're going to, I don't know, do a bombing in some freaking city over there in what is it? What's the dang island next to the other stupid island? Ireland.
Okay.
That's it. The one stupid island next to the other island.
Well, I'm just trying to think. Are you talking about up there in the UK? Or are you
no, I'm talking about Ireland
because
you got right there the last Italy. 3 letters are the IRA, but then you got right there after the first IRA. So it's IRA. It's like.
Okay.
Sounds like they're going to be doing some bombing in Ireland or something with that kind of a stupid-ass acronym. But, hey, either way, it's a great law. $998 per day for being here illegally.
And you want to tell them which wonderful president signed this into law for all of us?
All hail Bill Clinton. Oh, my goodness. back in the days when Democrats were idiots but not psychotic, pretty much.
And they actually cared about getting rid of illegal immigrants.
I know, right? That was back when Democrats were actually in favor of kicking out illegal immigrants because it hurt the working class. Back when the unions and them didn't want the illegal immigrants here.
Yeah, they cared about American citizens more than they do now.
But then the unions found out, oh, if we bring all these illegal immigrants in that suppress wages, then we'll be able to guarantee wages, so then more people will want to be with the union to get those guaranteed wages. So the unions realized that they could be scumbags too, and then Democrats pretty much just flipped straight to being pro-immigration.
Well, they also probably figured out they can sneak them into elections.
Illegal immigration. Well, yeah, they wanted to import a voter base too, but...
Yeah, they found out they can sneak them in to take part in voting in our elections, get away with it, so they might as well get more and more of them in, because they'll listen to them. They're the ones that brought them in.
So, Bill Clinton coming once again. Wow, I should probably watch the way I phrase things in that sentence. But Bill Clinton coming back to just screw his own party right in the butt once again. So, absolutely hilarious, and I am always in favor of it, especially if it's funny.
And we don't want to wish harm to the illegal immigrants. It's just you need to wait in line and immigrate here legally. You are hurting the American citizens.
And put their toilet paper in the toilet, not in the trash can in the bathroom.
Or leave it in a pile in the corner on the floor.
Oh, I know. All right. Next tab. What do we got? I can't remember what we put in order. Oh, great. So we're on Utah now already. And you can see how many tabs we've got on Utah. Utah, I don't know what the hell is happening to this state, but it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, frick,
they're trying to bleed a dry stone.
Seriously. What's that town? Is it Wellington out there? That's past Price? Wellington, they had been trying to push a freaking 200% property tax increase. There was another one that was like 50-something%. There was a whole bunch of them that were in like the 20s to 30%. And now Salt Lake is looking at doing a 12.5% property tax increase. And it's like, what in holy hell is going on? Wait. I feel like we're missing something.
What do you mean?
Or did I put it at the very end, probably?
You might put it at the end.
Near the end. Oh, yeah, it's I've left it at the end as one of the Deseret News articles, but it's not Utah specific.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and look at that one then, that first Deseret News one. Yeah, click on that. There we go. Let's hit up the Pentagon releases, quote, never before seen UFO files. So, the Pentagon started releasing UFOs, or UFO files. They're saying that they're real now, which, I mean, it's like, okay, you're finally admitting the truth that we all know is that they're freaking real. But as per expected, the files, although it's never before seen footage of them, it's basically a nothing burger. It's just blurry photos and blurry videos like we've always seen before. So, apparently they'll be releasing more. We'll see if it even means anything. Well, either they're going to drop the bomb for the most part and tell us all that aliens are real and that they're going to invade, or they're just going to keep releasing mediocre information that doesn't really change anything at all.
Yeah.
There's not really going to be an in-between for the most part. It's a hot topic, I guess, but it's always going to be just a nothing burger that they use to distract people from probably more important things. So whatever. Let's go back. You can probably get rid of that tab for all I care. There we go. Let's go back. So, back to Utah. Salt Lake City, 12.5% property tax increase. Really just so they can just squeeze every last drop of blood out of your dead corpse for the most part.
But like you and I discussed, a lot of these agencies, they're running themselves like a business that we need to get the biggest bank account we can. They're not caring about their constituents.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's the problem. Is a lot of cities and counties are acting like they're a business and they need to be making profit when they're not a business.
But I looked.
They
Aaron,
don't make profits. They just take money by force against innocent victims. That's what they do. That's what taxes are. You're pointing a gun at someone's head and forcing them to give you money. That's what taxes is. You want to say it's not, then tell me what happens if I stop paying taxes. Tell me. What happens if I stop paying taxes? Oh, men with guns come and pick you up and put you away. It's force. There is nothing else to taxes except force. And so all this is that we're seeing is just them trying to squeeze every last drop of blood out of your body, your dead, rotting corpse, before they finally let you rest in peace. There are two things that are always guaranteed in life. It's death and taxes, and now there's a third one, death taxes. Because they'll tax you for dying too. Alright. So, bullet points on this article.
Just so you know, the frame rates are jumping, so if the feed's choppy, we apologize.
We'll
have a look at it, then we have to repost the saved version, we will.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
So Salt Lake City proposes a 12.5% property tax increase to cover, quote, rising costs. Mayor Mendenhall emphasizes the necessity due to inflation and reduced federal funding. Probably got reduced federal funding because you're probably doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, so there's that. And then public hearings are scheduled for May 19th and June 2nd before budget is finalized in June. So if you live in Salt Lake City, get your butts in there and tell them to stop raising taxes on you, because I can only imagine if you live in a freaking metropolitan area like Salt Lake, how hard it is already to make ends meet.
Yeah, but we have problems where a lot of these councils, the people go, they protest, they say, we're passing it anyway. Remember, and kick them out at election time.
Yep. Don't forget how the politicians have screwed you over. Frickin' vote in. It's like, stop voting in the same people every single time just because you agree with them on most of the issues. Like, sure, if it's a Democrat and you agree with them on most issues, if they screw you over, don't give them the victory. Either vote Republican as a protest vote or frickin' vote Libertarian or something. Do a protest vote, whether you're Democrat or Republican, and punish the person who's in power, so that way they know that they can't be getting away with it. Because you keep letting them get away with it, they're going to keep doing it more. So the cost of replacing traffic signals has doubled in 6 years, while other vital things, like the price of materials to fill potholes, have increased by 45%, and the cost of firefighter gear has jumped 23% during the same time. Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, or whatever her freaking dumbass name is, noted, addressing the city council on Tuesday. She proposed a 12.5% property tax increase to cover the rising costs, while also addressing cuts from federal and state sources.
And just so you know, I remember checking on one of our previous podcasts a long time back. We were looking at wages for them, and just so you know, that mayor has 4 deputy mayors / chiefs of different areas. She has 4 underneath her. All of them each make over $177,000 a year.
Yeah.
To a couple of them making, I think, close to $250,000. And the weird thing is, I think I remember checking a year or 2 before she became mayor, and there were only 3 deputy mayors. So she added a deputy mayor.
Yeah.
So they are getting potentially $200,000 each. That's not even including the benefits. That is a lot of money.
Yeah.
Being wasted.
So, I mean, if you look at the information, there's some I didn't highlight there. It's in a $498.8 million general fund budget for the 2027 fiscal year, which begins in July. And then you go down and you see right there, this tax increase is expected to generate $13.5 million towards the next budget. If they can't squeeze $13.5 million out of almost $500 million general fund, I guarantee you there is a lot of waste in Salt Lake City
There's a lot
that
of
they
fat.
can be cutting. I bet you there's some stupid trans agenda bull crap and LGBT other crap that they don't need to be putting money towards. If it's a good idea, it'll flourish on its own. Don't fund it. Take the money out of it and go put money towards things that are more important, unlike freaking renaming a damn street.
But as we've discussed about the federal government even, they have a budget. And it's told, oh my gosh, if I don't use my whole entire budget, they're going to shrink it next year. So I have to somehow hide the money or waste it in some ridiculous way so I get an even bigger budget next year.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to cut
and
the
I
fat,
can testify to that because like when I was in the National Guard, it was a shoot it or lose it scenario. It's like if we were given the ammo to shoot in training, we had to shoot all the ammo because if we returned any of it, they wouldn't give us as much ammo the next year, which is a terrible policy to have because it just encourages waste. And a lot of government programs and government agencies have that philosophy just built in that if we don't use all this money, they'll give us less money next year because they won't think we need it. And it's just like that kind of a policy, that kind of approach just encourages waste.
Just like with Trump and the reflection pool. I'm not sure which president it was, they quoted $300 million to $355 million to fix that reflection pool. You have to think,
it might have been Obama. It was either Obama or Biden.
Yeah, and so...
But the whole fixing the reflection pool thing has been going on since Bush, and it's just been ongoing until now. Trump has just now basically just done it.
Yeah, but he got it done for maybe $2 million
because
he cut out all these little middlemen. Like, we need to have all the granite pulled out. We need to rip every single thing out instead of doing some very, very good repairs, doing industrial strength treatment on it, lining on it, and that saved. If you had someone like Gavin Newsom in as president, he would have made it more than $355,000, and the project wouldn't even be done.
He would have made it over $1 billion, and then it never would have happened because that's exactly what he's done with their stupid high-speed railway.
Yeah, so that's why I'm glad it's done. It's fixed. It's over. If we ever get a chance to go there, it'll look beautiful, and I want to go see it someday.
You know, joke's on them, though. They could have just called up all the LDS missionaries in the area and gotten it fixed in 2 days for less than $30 in materials.
But I'm just saying that's an example where they would have waste. You have to think, where were they planning on spending that $300 million?
Oh, the pockets of all of their friends. That money would just circle back around to their campaign donations.
Instead of being...
That's exactly how it all works. It's why things are so expensive. Because this extra money goes to them that then they pocket as bonuses, and they turn around and put a bunch of that back into the campaigns of these same people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dirty and filthy. I mean, that's the thing is, frick, you've seen how much... If you ever get to see how much goose and duck shit is there out by the reflecting pond, you'll realize that the pond inside the Capitol building, the swamp, is much nastier than that.
Yeah, we have a duck, and she gets our little pond filthy.
That's only one duck,
days.
That's only one duck, and she gets that thing filthy in minutes.
And you keep saying you want another one. I'm like, no.
I mean, it'd be fun to watch a bunch of little chicks or little ducklings just waddling around.
You need more property for that.
Oh. All right, let's hit up that next tab. This is all taxes right now. Next
and this
tab.
is the sad part right here.
Well,
they're already planning to increase the public utility, waste, and recycling costs to $32 a month more. Besides the additional $10 a month that property tax increase will give them.
Yep, that's the thing is they're already like what are they doing? Like, they're going to be raising it and so much more. That right there will raise the amount of much more money than the freaking property tax will be. And so it's like, why are they doing the freaking property tax?
Can you imagine recently when you and I have been so tight with money because your hours were cut, having to spend an extra $50 a month on
just on trash
utilities
removal
and property taxes?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous.
That
All
would-
right, let's hit up that next tab.
Okay.
So, Roy residents. What was this one? What's the
This
percentage?
is Roy.
I know,
Property
but
taxes
what's the
increase.
percentage increase? That's what I'm asking.
55 point something.
Gosh damn.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely absurd. Like, when you actually look at the numbers, you'll think it's not a lot of money. But the thing is, though, is it adds up over time. And there's a lot of people, they can't just be throwing money around wherever the hell they want on all this stuff. So Roy residents speak out against proposed property tax increase. So Roy is starting to raise property taxes more too. Yeah, 55.45% property tax increase.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're already paying, say, $2,000 a year in property tax, guess what? That's going up to freaking $3,000 a year. Well, over $3,000, but still right around there. Oh man, we need to abolish property tax in Utah. I'm getting sick of seeing these property tax hikes. It's like the last bastion of tax hikes that every single freaking entity here in Utah is doing. Every single one of them is all trying to raise property taxes right now, and it's absolutely absurd.
Because they won't trim the fat. They keep going, we need more in our budget.
Well, I mean, joke's on them. The way they keep doing this, our market will crash, and then they'll have, even with the property tax increase, they'll still have like a 60% reduction in income from it.
Well, someone wants to buy all the properties, so we will own nothing and be happy.
Oh, I know. The World Economic Forum has some very bright ideas. At least they're bright for freaking retards, but we'll get onto that a whole nother time for the most part. But so Roy, all the people in Roy, make sure you're attending your city council meetings and hearings and town halls, because they're trying to raise your taxes as well, and it's absolutely absurd.
And additionally, the increase will go to correcting wage disparities between employees. That's one of the
What is that
for.
supposed to mean?
Employees that are not getting paid equally or fairly for the same job.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, first of all, if they're not doing the same job, then they shouldn't be paid the equal amount. Secondly, if you got a guy who's only been in the department for 2 months, he shouldn't be making as much as the guy who's been there for a few years. And secondly, if you got someone who's just not able to do the job fully, like other people, you shouldn't be paying them as much as the other people. It's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really care about wage disparities between people there at the frickin' city. If they really cared about it, they should have addressed it a long time ago before they needed all these new tax rates.
Mm-hmm. And so the public hearing, June 16th, 5:30. And they have the State Tax Commission certify the tax rate August 11th.
Yeah, so attend your public hearings. Let's go ahead and hit
And
up the
here's
next tabs.
This stuff right here.
Let's hit up the next tab. Let's go ahead and breeze through this real quick.
Okay.
Taxes are boring, but it's a pain in our butt. So go ahead and hit it up. So anyone here can go and look up the Utah Tax Commission Property Tax Division, and you can search up and see exactly how much each of these school districts are taxing here and how much they're getting out of it, and all the cities and whatnot that have these property taxes. It's right here. There's the website at the top of the screen.
Would you like to look at a specific school district area?
No, because it's freaking embarrassing to see how much money they're getting, yet they can't seem to manage it. But let's hit up that next tab.
Okay, but people should see it though.
Yes, they should go and look, but let's hit up the next tab.
Okay.
Alright. I don't know. Scroll down. I don't even know why we have this here.
In case you wanted to look at different years.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can go to different years. Hit up the next tab. Where was it? Here it is. So, We were looking it up. So Utah State holds approximately $1.5 billion in rainy day and general reserve savings. This is all money that's just kind of put aside, the state's holding on to. Now the whole Public Treasurer's Investment Fund, which contains $29 billion in short-term cash investments assets for the state and local government entities. That $29 billion is made up of other money, not just the rainy day funds. So, babe, will you hit up that next tab? So we'll go back and forth between these tabs here. So we got this one here. State auditor says more than $4.5 billion held in accounts by Utah school districts. So on that previous tab, when it showed the $29 billion, this 4.5 or whatever it was, what was it?
4.5 billion.
Yeah, so 4.5 billion is part of that 29 billion. And so when you think of how they keep complaining about all these teachers not getting paid enough and shit, remember when they're trying to say they should raise their taxes to get more money, think about that $4.5 billion they've got in reserve funds. Just sitting there that they could be using, like the teachers who talk about how they have to pay $300 or something for materials themselves for their students. They could be using those funds for that, but the schools have decided, no, we're going to let our teachers suffer so we can continue to use them as a talking point when we want to raise property taxes again.
Like we've talked about previously, a bunch of these school districts approached the state and were asking to do property tax increases, and they have $4.5 billion in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to use their own money.
That money is supposed to be there for them to use. They could be using that money to refund these teachers who are spending their own money for materials for their classes. But no, they would rather hold on to it, and they probably do pull out of it on occasion when they take their luxury trips and cruises and shit as an organization or get themselves some catering. But no, God has helped them if they would ever consider giving these teachers some of their money back for trying to do a good job.
And if some of you guys are wondering on that previous page about the property taxes for the school districts, some of them said a couple school districts here in Utah brought in $100 to $300 million. That were divided up between the school board, a bond, and a one or two other things. Specifically for the school district.
No, these school districts are bringing in absolutely loads of cash, and then they're just not even using it to help their teachers. They're just screwing their teachers, and then they're just dividing the school districts up into more school districts, creating more overhead, so they can just hire their friends and screw over the average person.
And
screw over all their teachers, too.
And previously on a different episode, we talked about how there's been a drop 3 years in a row of enrollment in Utah public schools.
Yeah, the amount of students in schools is decreasing in Utah. And so, and at least this is the public schools. So that number is decreasing, but then they're creating more school districts, which ultimately means that they're not going to be hiring more teachers to teach these kids because they don't need teachers to teach them because the population of students is going down. So they can just keep the teachers the same. But by splitting the school districts, now all of a sudden they have to have a whole new set of school board members, all the staff and whatnot that come along with that. They're all going to be there making the money, probably making $100,000 or more in many cases, while the teachers who are actually doing the real work and struggling are paying $300 in their own damn checks just to get materials for their students. No, there is no such thing as a school district board that has a moral person on it. All the moral people on the school boards have been kicked out, and it's all just basically child rapists and child predator protectors that are all on the school boards right now.
Like right here, Alpine, $329 million last year.
Yep.
So when they sit there saying we need to raise property taxes for this and that, tell them, say no, dig into your rainy day fund.
Nope. And I mean, look at that though too. It's like you think of how much money they've gotten going towards their schools, and then you look at the freaking charter school down there. The money that's going to the charter school, and it's just a fraction of it. And the charter schools are the only ones freaking performing.
And I have to admit, on a previous episode, I said on the same when we were talking about schools, I did not think charter schools got anything for property taxes. I knew they get it from federal and state. They do a charter school fund, but it's different. This is, I believe, based for all the charter schools in that Alpine district, and it gets distributed per pupil on a set amount.
Mm-hmm.
So they slowly build this charter school fund.
Yeah, so the charter school fund, there's a good chance that not even all that money is going
Nope.
is going to the actual schools.
It's going
There's a whole bunch of it probably in just accounts waiting to be used.
And they may raise it up as you get more charter schools going in, but that is not even remotely the same. $324 million went to the Alpine School District. $5 million went to the charter school fund to get shared between the charter schools and the Alpine District.
Go ahead and go back to that KUTV article. So if any of you just hadn't seen it, there's $4.5 billion in savings accounts that they aren't using for the most part to refund teachers, while they're just trying to continue to raise the property taxes on us so they can keep bringing in more money.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely no point. It's just these are all just filthy robbers here in our school districts in the state of Utah. What is that? Cannon said her office researched a large district that has more than $300 million in a public treasurer investment fund, and found other district accounts that nearly doubled the fund balance. Gosh damn.
Oh, but we forgot to mention something. This is stupid. The Go Bond payments is like their credit score. They kind of keep like taking out loans or something to keep their score good.
Yeah, so they can keep borrowing money and whatnot, which is so dumb. They shouldn't be borrowing money anyways. They should be working off of what we give them.
They already have tons of money. $4 billion.
Yeah, they don't need more money. They're liars. They're filthy liars. All right, let's go ahead and hit up the next tab.
Cannon, that's why I said you move it so it's hidden. Cannon says state law limits money school districts can carry over from one budget year to the next, but the law doesn't cap total savings and investment funds held by the district. So they move it so it's out of thought, out of mind, out of view.
Well, maybe we need to actually do that. Cap their funds, their savings funds, to like $1 million per school district.
Or, if you want to be fair,
force them to dump all that money.
Or, you want to be fair, do maybe $100 million. So if a school burned down, they could rebuild a school. But cap it at that.
If a school burned down, they've got insurance.
I know.
They don't need a fund.
But if they're fighting the insurance claim, they could get the new building built and going until they get the money back.
Yeah.
That's a contingency.
All right. Well, next tab.
Okay.
Let's move on. So, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints toured the Salt Lake Temple following his April surgery. So let's go ahead and scroll on down. So, Salt Lake Temple is getting ever closer and closer to its open house next year. President Dallin H. Rose and his counselors in the First Presidency toured the Salt Lake Temple on Friday as a 6-year renovation project moves forward towards a 6-month public open house next year. The opportunity to tour the temple today was a welcome chance to be with my brothers in the First Presidency in a place we cherish. So they got to go through tour it, see how it's looking, see the progress of it. There are some rooms that aren't finished and some rooms that are. Go ahead and scroll on down. I guess his surgery was on April 15th.
And hip replacement.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So if you think about it, April 15th being when he had to get the hip replacement, probably because the government took his hip out of taxes for the most part. Had to get a new hip installed. President Oaks in 93 was ordained to the face 18th president on October 14th, and other church leaders have shared their anticipation of the first opportunity for the general public to see inside the historic Pioneer-era temple since 1893.
Yep. So if you want to tour it,
well
better do it.
over 100 years, well over 120 years. It's been a long time since general public's ever been able to actually view the Salt Lake Temple. So it's going to be a very big open house. There's going to be many, many people who want to come and get the chance to take a look at this building.
And here's the first presidency right here in the front.
Yep.
The three of them.
So there's a few photos there, mostly of the first presidency in the tour, and not much of the actual inside of the building. They're saving that for the actual open house.
They look like they're in the assembly hall.
That may be the assembly hall there, yes.
You want to see it right here in this picture.
Yeah. I never got to go into the assembly hall, so this will be an opportunity for me to go and see the assembly
cherubs. Hall. 2 little cherubs.
Mm-hmm. All right, scroll on down. So, just keep scrolling. See the photos. There's plenty of them. I didn't really highlight much.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
The
stained glass of the first vision.
Yep, there's Joseph Smith.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely fantastic opportunity. So if you're anywhere in the U.S., try to get here to Utah for the open house. It'll be an absolutely awesome opportunity for people to see the amount of dedication there were from the pioneers to help build this temple and make it look the way it is now today.
It's sad. Looks like Iron and Oaks is both having a little bit of trouble standing.
Yeah, they're both getting old.
They're both in their 90s.
I know. All right, next tab. So, major updates coming to the Gospel Library member tools. Scroll on down. So, some updates. Keep scrolling. What the heck? Okay. So, I didn't highlight the top one because it's basically just there's going to be a new image of Christ during his ministry for the most part there at the very front. So, not too big of a deal there. It's pretty cool. We'll always get to see nice, new, fresh art, a new one every week. But then the update also introduces new ward and branch tools that allow members to better participate in attending congregations outside their home unit. So basically, it'll give you the ability to use GPS on there to find what ward you're in, where you're at. And so you'll be able to go and attend with that ward while you're there. And you'll be able to see the lessons assigned if they've been posted for that day too. And then additional improvements to Gospel Library include enhanced study plan features that allow users to create personalized study schedules and share direct links with family members or friends so they can study the same materials together at their own pace. Church leaders noted that the update will particularly support youth participating in weekly reading initiatives tied to the updated For the Strength of Youth guide between May and August.
Which is a good time to do it. Out of school.
And then there are some tools, it sounds like, some changes that will help people with their callings for the most part. But for the most part, besides those things, any other updates are not that big of a deal. Oh yeah, so there it is, the member tool. Introduces several administrative and organizational improvements aimed at helping members fulfill church callings. Basically, you'll be able to take attendance roles on your phone. So
it's
that
already there.
Oh, it is already up. So they have already updated it. So this is what the updates are.
I have a calling and I have to do attendance.
I know, right? So now you can do it on your phone.
Yeah, but
you
they
can
still give
take
us a
account of all the nursery children on your phone now.
It's hard sometimes.
Hey, at least you're not the
9 to
only.
12.
At least you're not the only nursery leader now.
And I'm grateful it's only 1 hour. I could not imagine 2 hours.
I know, right? Oh man. So yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much it for today. For that. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I thought there was one more. I wasn't quite sure. So the formerly called groups part on the app is now changed to members lists, allowing users to privately organize custom contact lists for purposes such as ward councils, substitute teachers, nearby members, or primary parents. Basically just kind of organizing your contact list, so if there's any issues or any any updates involving your calling or your related callings or the related callings of your children,
Hey,
you'll be able to see those.
that'll be good for nursery in case I have to mess with a parent. Will you please come here? Your
Yep.
kid's crying in.
You got all your kids there in the nursery. You'll be able to create a group of all the people, a member list of just all the people who have kids in the nursery. And so then you'll just be able to cycle straight through those instead of going through the whole ward list.
Yeah.
You'll be able to just have that list right there of just the kids in the nursery and be able to contact the parents directly without having to spend a few minutes just to look.
Yeah.
So it'll make some things a lot easier for some of the members trying to reach out and contact people in the ward.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last and final tab.
And just so you guys know, this is the place where you can check out Utah taxes and budgets.
Okay, let's
There we go.
get off of that.
I know, just a reminder in
I
case
know.
you wanted to look at it.
Let's just get off of that. So, church calls 62 temple presidents and matron couples worldwide. 62 new temple presidents. A lot of them are to temples that are already in operation. It's just, I guess, changing of the guard for the most part. But there are a couple new ones or new temples that were all called as well. So we can see, we can go ahead and go through the Utah ones. There's a Cedar City, Utah right there. So Cedar City, Utah's got a new one. Let's see. There's Ephraim, Utah. Ephraim's not operating yet, but they've gone ahead and called the matron couple now.
I'm wondering if that's the star.
That's probably the ones that are new temples that are about to start operating.
Possibly. We'll have to see. It'll probably have something at the bottom.
Then there's Logan, Utah. It's got a new president now. Keep scrolling. There's like 68 of these to surf through. Manti, Utah. Then there's Ogden, Utah as well. This is at least for the Utah. Orem, Utah's got a new one. Is the Orem, Utah temple now? No, because Timpanogos Temple's not in Orem, is it?
Nope, it's in American Fork.
That's what I thought. So Orem, Utah. Oh yeah, the Orem, Utah temple's right on off of I-15. I don't know why I was
Next to
thinking
UVU,
that.
which is awesome to see. So for the college students, it's right there, easy to access.
Yeah, so now there's 2 college temples for the most part. All right there, Red Cliffs, Utah. That's got a new temple president. Saratoga Springs, Utah's got a new temple president. St. George, Utah's got a new temple president. Smithfield, Utah has a new temple president. I don't know how I missed that one.
Oh, Snowflake, Arizona. I recognize the name Van Winkle.
Oh, you do, yeah?
Yeah,
Well, you grew up down there.
I went to a school with someone named Van Winkle, but it could be a cousin, distant relation, I'm not
Or
sure.
an uncle.
Yeah, St. George.
Then also the Vernal, Utah as well. Tim and Aline K. Uford Hadlock.
Yep.
So,
I'm not seeing what the stars
whole bunch of
mean.
new temple presidents and their wives called for, taking care of the temples across the world.
Yep.
And a whole bunch of them in Utah have now been called too. So, congrats to them. It's going to be a hard job, but I'm sure it's going to be fulfilling.
It must be new ones, because, like Cambodia, that one's
that's
just
a new
barely
one.
getting done. That's my only idea.
Yeah, so those stars are all the ones that are just barely getting finished. San Diego's an old temple, but I think that's actually going through renovations. So it's going to probably get rededicated.
Yeah, so it might even be, I think the ones
It's probably
for Linden,
just temples that aren't currently operating.
and I know Linden, they were called, I think, a couple months ago. So it could be that they're getting training how to get up and going before the temple actually opens. They need to know how to do their job.
All right. Well, that's pretty much it for the day. You got anything else, Christy?
I just want to say, if you don't like your property taxes, talk to your legislators, talk to your friends. Just tell them, no, we're not doing this. But otherwise than that, we'll keep an eye on what's going on with Box Elder, see what's going on with Utah, and don't forget to vote. One thing I don't think we talked about is another Muslim became, they took District 6 in Irving, Texas. So that's going to be an issue. They're trying to Islamify places, and I know we respect other religions, but they don't respect everyone else's religion.
No, they
So
don't.
we need to be careful with that. What's happening in Europe and other countries, I don't want to happen to my children or any of the other children I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want child marriages. I don't want people to get hurt. I don't want rape gangs, no-go zones. I don't want any of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, all you losers have a good day. We'll go ahead and get out of here.
And your vote makes a difference.
Your vote does make a difference, and I'll probably be looking at starting a ballot initiative here soon too. So you guys have a good day and get out of here.